Sabrina, and my highlight is definitely watching my daughter take in the world and watching her be in these places that are just these incredible experiences. It feels like a snapshot of memories that I just keep replaying in my mind.
My name's Amanda. Our highlight has just been, I think, just seeing everything we've seen, living in our car for 6 months and coming down here with 2 days notice. And then low late, just kind of justifying it to my family and making them not think I'm crazy, even though they still think I'm crazy, but it's okay.
Hello, my name is Rob. The highlight's definitely being with my daughter all the time. That's my goal. And the low is people don't understand that.
When you asked the question, I took it very literally, so I'm just going to run with that. I would say that the low light was the night that we arrived in our small town in Panama, where we were going to be living for the year, and there was no dining room table, and there was no air conditioning, and there was a rock hard bed that my husband couldn't sleep on, and there was the mommy meltdown of the year. I had no idea how I could possibly pull it off. I just didn't know how it was ever going to happen. And then the highlight was 10 months later when my daughter was in the parade with her public school in Panama, and she was twirling her baton, and we had managed to make it. And she was a student like all the other kids, and I was a parade bomb like all the other parade bombs.
My name is Milos. I'm from Canada. Highlight, I don't know, I guess is this, my first sort of experience, our families traveling outside the country sort of with a purpose of exploring what's out there and who's out there and getting to know these people. I don't think any low lights yet, so it's pretty good so far.
One of the things I'm enjoying is I'm a single mom, and I've met 7 or 8 other single moms, and that's something that's really important to me. And for my sons, I think it's great. They can see that. And the other thing that I'm liking about it is that pretty much everyone here gets me. No one thinks I'm weird. No one thinks I'm crazy the way I'm raising my kids, schooling or not schooling my kids, and traveling and that kind of stuff.
I think it's important as human beings in general. We want to have community, we want to have support, but especially when you're doing something where you're stepping outside the mainstream, and especially for me because I just started, so it's important for me to have community and support and people who can give me ideas.
It's the first event of this type that we have been able to participate with in Mexico, where it's not just Mexican, Spanish-speaking families here, but it's actually international group, and so it's been very exciting for us. Our kids are having a blast. And
well, my family and I have been traveling for over 2 years now, and coming together as a group like this in Cancun has just been so refreshing. Just to have the community, have the friendships, to create bonds, to see the children meeting new friends and playing games. It is just so refreshing, and just really establishing a community with people who are like-minded and who are just doing things that are like even different than ourselves, and so we're learning as well.
And then also I would say for me as an unschooler, probably the most compelling thing to hear you talking about is also the idea of finding community once we arrive in a place. I would love to say, we're thinking about going to X country, and who is already there that we can arrive and say, let's link up, let's connect up, and have that move from online to offline.
As like Sufi nomads, we're already like outliers. I'm still kind of weird. Like they're like, why do you want to make your life harder and just go travel travel with all of us? You know, and I'm kind of a loner. And I'm so used to doing everything by myself and we're kind of like a well-oiled little machine. That even knowing that you guys exist and coming here, it's like so nice. Like to the other, especially like other single moms, like not being like the weird outlier person and having people get you, and just having my kid having friends in another country. It's so nice.
So my talk today is called The Benefits of a Literature-Based Education When Raising a World Citizen. So I love to travel and I love books, and this is how all of this comes together, and how even those who hate books can still incorporate it into your travel world school lifestyle.
in homeschool is that the medium is the message.
Yeah, so first, it will be four points. The first one is how parents don't have to take the power over the children. There's kind of freedom, etc. And the second point is how children don't have to take power over others either. The third part is how children can learn to have power over themselves, as you said this morning, to have power over their own happiness and their own feelings. And the fourth part, how adults can also learn in the process how to control their own emotions and feelings. So.
As an advocate for world schooling, I'm all about it being all inclusive. You can be a homeschooler, you can live in your home country, you can put your kids in traditional schools, you can do what works for you, and however I can support you or the community can support you, it's my honor to be able to help facilitate whatever works and get you whatever you need. And
how are your kids going to get into university or or college, or how are they going to be successful? My God, you're ruining them. Here to tell you that is completely unfounded, that there's no, just like the socialization question we can put to rest because we know that's, silly. The same thing with getting into college. It's silly. Yes, they will, if they want to.
How and why institutional education was created, and the structures of these institutions, and how they actually structure our kids. The evolutionary biology and attachment patterns. Now, we talked a little bit yesterday about attachment parenting, so this will come to here, and how they affect the emotional well-beingness of our children and their effectiveness in future life.
I think we all have the same goal for our kids. Traveling, not traveling, is make them be self-educated, or independent, and be happy, because we want them to be happy.
Well, so I wanted to ask if you had any advice with your work experience in unschooling and homeschooling. If you had any advice for parents how to behave with their children?
First off, everybody standing on the stage right now will be fine. All right, I can say right now, these kids.
Because what we found when we started talking to people about home education is that even if they had the desire to do it, many times they couldn't find materials without having to speak English first. And so there's this real problem. And we were in a position to be able to fill that need. I have a master's degree in education. However, when I came out of the classroom and began teaching my own students, I realized I had to de-school a lot of things, right?
I have winged it, and I have gone year to year. 6 months here, we'll try that, we'll do this. I've ordered curriculum, I've done the unschooling. It's just whatever works for that child, but also for our group and for me at that particular time.
There is those that are opting for traditional school, and I would say on the far other side are those of us that identify with being radical unschoolers, and that's what I am.
Just that I feel women, moon, through the moon. Women are very connected with the moon. Even in the Mayan cultures, the symbol for woman is a moon.
And we sort of started, I guess, our world schooling a lot at home through something called couch surfing. So if you haven't heard of couchsurfing.org, it's a way where people travel and they can find accommodation for free, kind of like a social exchange.
How do all of you make friends in other countries when you don't necessarily speak the language? What are some ways that you connect with people locally and find a community where you are?
I think being authentic is really the main key factor. If you can connect with pretty much anybody on a human level, if you can surpass cultural barriers, language barriers, pretty much anything, if you just really put yourself out there and you accept other people for what they are.
Your intuition is telling you, you're looking at your child, you're closest to your child. You know that this is not healthy for your child. You're going to sleep, you're up all night because your intuition is saying, no, this is not okay for my child.
I tend to personally probably pick some school-related arbitrary
measures of where Avery should be at a certain time, and then tend to like micro freak out if I feel like she's not meeting them. Like I just asked today, like, when do kids lose their teeth? And thank God it was like a year after that she is, because I probably would have started thinking about, well, why hasn't she lost any of her teeth yet? Like I said, to hyper focus on little things like that.
We were having this exact conversation at lunch, and I was telling people about the first time that I learned that Socrates had railed against the alphabet because he thought it would be the death of ideas. And like that seems laughable to us now because we all know that books totally revolutionized the world of ideas. But from his vantage point, he thought ideas are dynamic, you have to be in conversation about them or they'll die. They'll be static on the page and people will be reading books all the time, they won't be talking. And so we're just at that cusp, I think, of technological development that there's a lot of fear, right? Like it says on this paper, fear is ruling a lot of our engagement.
And I think the thing that I struggle with is that for some children, some things they're just not ready for.
But I also, like you said, like I know my son, and I know he has a strong mind. Like we use every experience as an opportunity to have a dialogue.
I don't, we have conversations about it all the time, but there is a social emotional development component to this where, like, is it fair to ask a 6 or 7-year-old, what do you want in your life? I mean, those are big, big questions.
This journey, I got onto this journey because what I realized, and just listening to a lot of the noise, I call it, from everything, books, media, anything, is that the only way my life and my children is going to change is if I am always working on myself.
He knew that I was interested in children and education, and he just left A.S. Neill's Summerhill on my bed. A radical approach to childbearing, which is like, I mean, A.S. Neill is like the father of where unschooling has come from, I think. And that really set me on an amazing path. But I'm kind of in two minds about that, because I sort of feel that once again we're bringing children together and everyone has such a different, amazing, diverse learning style.
Well, if it's like for us, having our first child was totally different to the second child, and it was a girl, so each family has to figure it out depending on the reaction of each kid, depending on.
I'd like to respond two ways to what you were talking about. The first one is we model what works for ourselves. The second response I want to give you is that we talk about partnership. We talk about the partnership for what works for the family. And when I gave the example earlier about Miro asking, like, do we have anything planned tomorrow? Do you care if I sleep in till 4? I don't care. We've got nothing planned. Go for it. That kind of respect came because we have talked from the beginning of our travels. We're in this is our partnership. This is what I feel that our partnership needs. What do you feel our partnership needs in order to have both of our needs met? And as a family unit, you can have these kinds of conversations.
I thought, you know what, it's okay to have boundaries. And maybe I have more boundary, I'm maybe stricter than a lot of other people in that I do make them brush their teeth, I do make them put on deodorant at certain times when they reach it, because for the good of our whole, we travel as a group.
Since talking to Lainey about the way she does things, we've taken schedules off the table. They can go to bed when they want, they can get up when they want, unless we have something, like we got to get here. They have to get up at a certain time, but they can still go to bed when they want. I mean, if you want to have less sleep, then that's up to you. But
I'm going to just say, empower your kids to make choices on their own.